What's up, guys? Keisha Nochia here, back at you with another new alternate universe video. Now, I wanted to do a video today because I feel like I'm not going to do a video tomorrow for specific reasons, but I wanted to give you a new what if. This is going to be an 18 plus. Well, no, not really an 18X because I know I can get away with a lot of stuff here. Because, well, you could say, maybe. But this is going to be what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Zeus. Now, I know what I gotta say. Keyshawn Chia, this is a lot of new what ifs, and you haven't given out the old parts. I know, my bad. But I have to get this off my chest because this idea seems like it's going to be bussing with my ideas and my crazy, you could say, storytelling. So, this is going to be, yeah, pretty much what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Zeus. And also, sorry if my voice is like this. I just woke up, but the idea was just screaming in my head and dancing around, so I had to get this out. But anywho, let's get this started. So, how we're gonna start this off, and how will Naruto Uzumaki become a god? You could say one of the strongest among the gods, Zeus. Well, we're gonna start with Zeus. Pretty much, we're gonna say after the Titan fight with the gods. Pretty much, this is going to be the final battle. You could pretty much call it the Ragnarok battle. Pretty much after all, the gods fought with the Titans and stuff, and they lost and stuff, and you could say all gods was dying out and stuff. This is Zeus used his final attempt effort of killing all the Titans, but sacrifices himself in the process. This is where some gods will still be alive, but other than that, Zeus and some of the remaining other gods that helped out will be, you could say, kind of finished, or you could say too injured and stuff. But Zeus will be dead. Now, this is where you think, oh, God will die and then, bad stuff will happen. No, this is where Zeus will be reincarnated and his soul will be transferred into another universe, you could say. Now, this is where Zeus will be pretty much opening eyes again and thinking he's dead and stuff. And he'll be looking around and be confused of where he's at specifically. This is where he will look and see his, you could say, new mom and dad, Minato, Uzumaki, and Kashina. Now, this is where pretty much, Minato will say, Minato will look and be like, huh, our son looks weird. Which, this is where Minato will notice that Naruto hair will be white and his eyes will be all white. No pupils or nothing, just all white. At first, they would think, Naruto is a Hyuga because Hyugas will have eyes like that, but he's not a Hyuga because he doesn't have the Byakugan, so they're trying to figure out what he really looks like, who the father really is. But this is where Kashina will pretty much get mad at Minato, saying that she only been with him and only loved him, so she heavily cheated on him. Minato, of course, will believe it, but he will still have that little question of a doubt of like, are you sure? It's okay, like you could say. But this is where everything will same happen. Obito will come and attack the baby and grab Naruto, which you could say, or you could say Zeus is pretty, you could say, really aware of what's happening. But hold on. Sorry about that crying, guys, if y'all heard it in the background, but let's continue. Pretty much, this is where Obito will do the same thing as Visual Canon, grab Naruto. But, well, you could say Naruto, or you could say Zeus, in a sense. When you hear me say Zeus, I mean Naruto. But pretty much, this is where he grabs a young Naruto. Well, you already know Naruto Zeus, but pretty much, this is where he would grab a young Naruto and pretty much trying to run away with Naruto. But this is where Naruto, or you could say aka Zeus, will get mad and pretty much say, and pretty much can sense the hospitality from him. And he'll pretty much know that, well, his new mom and dad, you could say, he doesn't want to see them get hurt. This is where he will use his lightning, which he can feel a little, well, not really. Not, we're gonna say that for later. But pretty much this is where he would get abducted. And the same thing will happen in original canon. And this is where the Naruto's attack will happen. This is where Minato will bring Naruto into safe pace and fight with Obito. That fight would end the same way, which Obito would get clapped from Minato. And pretty much this is where the whole sequence of the nine tail ceiling will happen. Now, this is where pretty much this is where we'll pretty much Obito will try to seal the nine tails into Naruto, which pretty much it wouldn't really. Well, yeah, it'll work. Yeah, it will pretty much work. The full nine tails will be sealed. Well, before the nine tails can get sealed in, this is where Kurama will pretty much cause more havoc. You could say not a lot, but like a little bit more havoc, and will be almost crushing Naruto. This is where Naruto, or should I say Zeus, will be aware of what's going on, and he will use his power or his godly power, and concentrate, and he will summon a big lightning bolt to strike down at Kurama. This is what shock Kurama into enough seconds to stun him, and this is where Minato will use the Reaper Self Steel because he doesn't have a lot of chakra, and he will sacrifice himself. Now, this is where he will sacrifice himself and pretty much steal the full nine tails into Naruto. Yeah, steal the full nine tails into Naruto because Kushina can't take it back. She already lost too much blood and chakra, so the full nine tails will be into Naruto. Now, this is where Kushina and Minato is dying and stuff, and this is where they're saying, like, please take care of our boy, keep him safe, make sure he have all this and stuff. Please keep all your promises. Hiruzen, which, he never does. And, pretty much that's how it is. This is where, they both die, and Hiruzen picks up Naruto. And Zeus you know, already had to fight his own father before, kill him because his brothers and sisters and all that stuff. So this is where, he didn't really much know them, but he feels just as sad because if things were a little bit different, he would have maybe had a good family, and maybe things could have been out. Like he's thinking of the possibilities, but he's just saying, oh well, they're dead. But pretty much this is where Hiruzen will pick up Naruto, and Naruto wouldn't be crying or anything. He would just be pretty much looking, and then he would close his eyes, which that's Zeus. Now we're gonna do past time skip, and we're gonna have like a 5-year-old Naruto. Now, this 5-year-old Naruto would be pretty much a prodigy, not just with its intelligence, but such as with strength and paralysis and speed. And he will also have lightning capabilities, or you could say like godly lightning abilities. At first, well, everybody thinks Naruto will have a lightning nature, but he doesn't have a lightning nature. That's just him, or should I say, aka Zeus, his godly power. He has lightning capabilities, such as throwing down lightning bolts, creating storms, so far, so forth, all that stuff. Yeah, like creating storms and stuff, and also you could say the ability to create life. Zeus has also the ability to create life, if I'm correct or not. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. I won't really be hesitate to get mad or anything. I'm not gonna get mad. I like to take y'all guys' advice, so make sure to let me know if Zeus can create life or not. If not so, then tell me. But pretty much, yeah, you can also have the ability to create life. But pretty much, a 5-year-old Naruto will be apology such as intelligence. He will also have the strength and the capabilities, which the villagers would pretty much look at Naruto. But this is where everything will be different when Danzo will spit out that Naruto's nine-tailed Jinchuriki and pretty much alert the whole villagers. But things will be much more different. This is where pretty much the villagers will pretty much hate Naruto and try to attack him and stuff and do all the stuff. But that backfires immediately bad. At the age of 6 with Naruto, well, before everything ends, everything happens the same at the age of 5 when he pretty much saved Hinata and stuff, which Hinata will have a crush on Naruto. But this is where the villagers will hate Naruto and stuff at this time. But let's start with the age of 6. This is where the villagers make a small mistake and begins to fear Naruto for this specific reason. At the age of 6, Naruto was walking down the village, which one of the villagers will pull out a kunai and attack Naruto. As he's trying to attack Naruto and go for the killing blow, this is where Naruto will look at the villager and shock him with a lightning bolt. Pretty much instantly you could say downing. Well, you could say killing him with a shock in his heart, killing him. This is where the other villagers will get terrified and will try to call Naruto a demon. With this is where you could say aka Zeus, aka Naruto, will be floating up and say, "You dare call me a demon? I am a god." Which this is where Naruto would get angry and start floating in the sky, and this is where he would be start creating a storm of rain and stuff, and lightning would just be striking left or right, hitting people, hitting bystanders because they're pissing off Naruto and calling him shit, calling him this name that he's not, and he's floating, and this is where Hiruzen will come out and say, "Naruto, my boy, please calm down. You hurting the villagers and stuff," which Hiruzen will soon try to calm down Naruto, but understand the fear. Will be in fear because this is where Naruto will look at Hiruzen with an angriest look and say, "Why should I listen to an old man like you? What did you do for me? Better yet, what are you supposed to do for me when my mom and father died? Tell me, spit it out, yell it out, say it for all the villagers so they can hear the truth." Which pretty much he's speaking of the time when he was a baby, and Kushina and Minato asked him, which Hiruzen will be shocked that Naruto can remember that. And this is where you could say Naruto will be flying straight to Hiruzen, and he is still pressurized. You could say yelling at him and saying, tell the villagers that you was supposed to protect me from them. You was supposed to help me out. You was supposed to make sure I'm fed well and healthy. Instead, I'm at my own house where I can't pay rent there." Which this is where Naruto is outrageously calling out Hiruzen for his actions and ready to strike him down. This is where Hiruzen will down his head and shed a tear and say he's sorry that he haven't really been there and stuff. Which this is only pissing off Naruto even more. But this is where he admit his fault and say that he would do better and he will make sure the villagers don't do anything to him. Which this is where Naruto will be like calming down and saying, "Okay, I take your word on it." Which this is where you could say Naruto is have his long shalom like Zeus, you could say, and saying, "Okay, I take your word on it. But if you're lying to me, I will strike you down." Which this is where you could say the 6-year-old Naruto walks away, and the villagers are now instead of straight talking, now they're afraid of Naruto for what he can basically quality powers he can do, and he's you could say a mega right you could say, but pretty much this is where Naruto will walk away and head straight to his house. Now let's do a time pass skip. Now this is going to be the start of the academy. Now Naruto in the starter academy will head to the academy, and when every student there, Naruto will pretty much walk in. No. Let's save that. But let's start with Naruto. This is where Naruto will start growing older, and his hair will be a little bit more longer. His hair is going to be longer, and his you could say his hair is going to be longer and stuff, and he's going to be a little bit older. And we're going to start at the age of 12, not 13. Yeah, 13. Now we're going to start up the academy at 13. Now this is the age of 13. Naruto will head to the academy where all the students are already in class, and as he goes inside, this is where all the students will look at him, and Naruto will have that major ego since he's the shit and Zeus is the shit. He would pretty much be walking in class, not caring and stuff, and Naruto attire would be kind of be like Roman, like Greek attire. You could say he would still have the sandals, well, not have the shinobi sandals. He would have his own unique sandal style, custom made, but he would pretty much have a unique god Greek style, kind of like this outfit you can see here, like that. And he will have the necklace that his mom, Kushina, gave to him, if I'm correct. Yeah, if I'm correct, I think if I'm correct, or was that necklace given to him in the movie? Well, anywho, he's gonna have he's gonna have a necklace later, but pretty much let's just continue. Pretty much he would pretty much walk in class with this attire, and every student would look at him, but he wouldn't care because he's the shit. This is where he was sit by this is where he would sit by Ino, and he would start to flirt with Ino, you could say. Now, wouldn't really have a hatred with Naruto or not dislike him because Naruto had looks pretty fucking hot, you could say. No homo, that's same, but I'm just saying he looks pretty fucking hot. He can get any girls and he can pull it off with quick ease. You could say he's a playboy. Now this is in a sense when he's friend with this is where some other girls will come in and try to talk to Naruto, which Naruto will say, ladies, calm down. It's plenty of room to share around, you could say. Which this is where Hinata, of course, is looking from the far background and blushing because she doesn't have the courage to really say anything to him, but she's marceling it up. She's really happy. But pretty much this is where Ruka comes in. He will look at the whole class, including Naruto, and he will have a sense of hatred for Naruto. But Naruto will look at pretty much Aruka will look at Naruto and say, "Are you finished now?" Which he will make that rude gesture, which Naruto will still be talking and stuff. With Aruka will pretty much walk up to Naruto and try to hit him with a book. But this is where Naruto will pretty much lightning will burn the book, burning it to incineration with lightning, and he pretty much say, "What do you think he was gonna do with that book?" Which this is where Haruka will be like, nothing, nothing. Um, I was just asking, can you focus? Class is about to start." Which Naruto looks at him and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, yeah." And pretty much Naruto will like stop what he's doing and pretty much let Aruka teach. This is where Aruka will have a sweat and start teaching class, and this is where all the same will happen in the remainder of. I'm gonna kind of make things different because I want to make Naruto like 15. You could say 15, and then if the 2 years, if I'm correct, Naruto should be about 19 or 18 and 19. Yeah, that should be right. Yeah, so we're gonna have a couple years in the academy. So Naruto will be 15 just for specific reasons, and the students will be a little bit older for specific reasons. But pretty much this is where 15 years pass, and this is where they will have the academy ending with the graduations and stuff. Uh, Naruto at this age would Naruto at this age, 15 at this age, will pretty much already know Kurama and will already talk to him. And pretty much Kurama will have zero domination with Zeus because Naruto will just shock him down. Wow, I might as well explain. Naruto has met Kurama already, but Kurama can't do anything because Naruto pretty much has the power to pretty much dominate him with pure lightning, and Kurama pretty much is afraid of Naruto because Naruto is a god. But yeah, but they have a cooperation bond, but not as big. But yeah, they have corruption. They have a operation bond. But pretty much, this is where Naruto is at the graduations, and this is where the first clone test begin. And Naruto passes that with ease. Why? Because Kurama is not messing with his chakra, and yes, Naruto would have god power and also have chakra. So yeah, you could say Naruto's broken, but pretty much yeah, he passed the clone test. Next up is the tryouts where everybody fights and stuff and see who's going to be the rookie. I mean, fighting each other out. This is where all the fights go the same, except for this fight will be happening now. The final fight will be Naruto and Sasuke. And sorry, in this fight, the fight will goes as usual, the same. Naruto will be fighting with Naruto, and this is where they will be fighting with hand-to-hand combat. And I'm going to kind of, if anyone of y'all watched the anime Ragnarok, I'm gonna um have Zeus, or should I say aka Naruto, have Zeus abilities from Ragnarok, like all those abilities and attack techniques. So you could say yeah. But pretty much this is where they will be fighting, and this is where Sasuke will be fighting with Naruto, and they will be hand to hand combat, and Sasuke will be losing that fight. This is where Sasuke will back up and he will shoot a massive fireball. And Naruto would do nothing but just to stand there. He would just stand there, you could say. Now, this is where the fireball will hit Naruto directly, but as the fire, which as Sasuke thinks that he hits Naruto, and the villagers think Sasuke not got Naruto, and they're all cheering, saying, "Yeah, I can't believe you actually got him." Well, they're actually shocked that they got like Naruto got hit. This is where Naruto will walk out the fire and be like, "Man, you kind of got me a little dusty." Which this is where Sasuke would be shocked, and this is where Naruto would say, "This is my turn." And Naruto will use a low version of his technique of the time punch, you could say. With, or I forgot the name of the move in Ragnarok, but pretty much it's like a time based punch where everything is like the punch is so incredibly fast that everybody think he didn't do anything. Like they don't know what happened. It's gonna be like that. Pretty much this is where Naruto will like be incredibly fast and like punch Sasuke right in the stomach, but not like enough to kill him, just enough to knock him out. And this is where um they see like pretty much Naruto walking away from Sasuke, and and they see Sasuke just hits the ground, and Naruto saying, "That was a pretty fun match, I guess," and he would pretty much walk away. The villagers are all shocked and trying to figure out what the hell just happened. And Aruka calls the match because Sasuke is out cold. And if y'all don't know what happened, Naruto pretty much went so fast that you could say stopped time, but not really. He went so fast that he punched. Well, he was incredibly fast that he punched Sasuke in the stomach without, really doing that effort. But it's devastating, you could say. But let's continue. Pretty much, after all that, this is where Naruto will be made Rookie of the Year. Yeah. And keep in mind, Naruto is the top of his class because he's super intelligent. He's not dumb or anything, and he can pretty much. And if a god is, you could say, you could say, Naruto's not dumb. You could say Naruto or Zeus is not dumb. He's extremely intelligent. You could say. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where, um, yeah, the Academy's assessment is done, and everybody started going home. This is where Naruto will start heading to Ichiran Ramen because they have the best ramen. And plus, Naruto went there as a kid, and that shit's bussin'. This is where he goes to the ramen guy, and the ramen guy says, "Oh, hey, Naruto." The same as usual, which pretty much this is where Naruto or aka Zeus will say, "Of course, my guy, give me the best." Which, as pretty much Naruto is eating some Ichiran ramen, this is where some, you could say, prostitutions and women that Naruto has been fooling around with has come and pretty much sit right next to Naruto in the Ichiran ramen place. This is where they're sitting by Naruto and pretty much laying up to him and saying, "Naruto, when are we gonna go on our next date? When are we gonna eat? I mean, when are we gonna go out and do things?" Which Naruto was a ladies' man, like I said. Zeus was a ladies' man. He was a playboy. He was making children like it was no other. He was making a lot of demigod children. I mean, the man was a player. We cannot deny that Zeus is a man in a mega chat of playing, doing his stuff. But anyways, let's stop. Pretty much, this is where prostitutions, some prostitutes, some women and other, women are pretty much coming in, and of course, Leaf Shinobi, some Leaf Ninjas, females. Naruto had been messing around with a lot of girls in the Leaf Village. There's so many girls he can mess around with that. Well, you could say Zeus. There's so many girls he can mess around with that he can't even get himself stopped. And plus, since his wife is not there, the possibilities is endless. But let's stop, okay? Pretty much, this is where the girls are coming in, sitting next to Naruto, laying up to him, asking him when they're gonna have spend the night again and stuff. And Naruto, or should I say, aka Zeus, begins to say, "Now, ladies, I will, I will promise what I was gonna give y'all." And they pretty much excited and stuff, and they're laying up. And then they begins to take Naruto, and Naruto pays the Robin guy, but Robin guy says it's on the house Naruto, and pretty much Naruto says thanks, and he starts heading with the ladies. But before he heads with the ladies, this is where he sees a kid with the scroll ceiling, which this is, well, nah, I'm gonna have that for a special occasion. This is where Naruto heads back to the house, and let's just say he starts having doing the dirty with all the women that he took back at the house. So not even dirty. He been having sex with them. He been hitting it from the back, hitting it from the behind, and he been making a lot of done up the sauce in the vagina, you could say. So yeah, he been doing a lot when he heads back to the house with the women. But pretty much the next day, this is where Naruto will get called in Hiruzen's office, and pretty much Hiruzen will let Naruto the bad news that the scroll ceiling has been stolen by a ninja, a rogue ninja called Miski. Now this is where Hiruzen would first reluctantly ask Naruto for his help, but he would ask Naruto for his help. This is where Naruto would pretty much look at him and he'll pretty much say, "Alright, I'll do it." Which this is where pretty much Hiruzen say you will, which Naruto says, "Hold on, give me a minute." Which this is where Naruto will create a lightning bolt and he will throw it up in the sky. Now, as he throws it up in the sky, it will create a big storm, a storm that covers around the world, you could say. And as that's happening, Naruto is pretty much, using the storm as his eyes. He's looking around, trying to figure out where Miski's at. This is where he will find Miski running through the trees, and he will be like, "Okay." Now this is where Naruto have his finger lift up, and this is where he will strike it down, and the lightning bolt will pretty much hit Miski on the back, pretty much making him fall down and shocking him with lightning. This is where Naruto will pretty much appear right beside Miski before he can head to Orochimaru hideout, and he'll pretty much grab the scroll and pretty much say, Hiruzen said that you're the rogue who stole the scroll and killed the student. Was it you?" Which pretty much Miski would be like, "Oh, who are you?" Wait, no, Miski wouldn't say that. He would pretty much say, "You, the Nine Tails demon," which Naruto would pretty much just, or should I say, aka Zeus, would pretty much just shock him again and pretty much just use his lightning to make like electric handcuffs, or like you could say electric handcuffs to pretty much arrest him. This is where he'll pretty much take Miski and pretty much head back to Leaf Village. Now, as that's done, this is where Naruto pretty much head in the front and pretty much have Miski pretty much have Miski walking while he's right behind him, and he will have the scroll ceiling. This is where the Leaf Ninjas pretty much say hope who goes there, which they will see it's Naruto with Miski and the scroll ceiling, and they pretty much let him pass. This is where Miski will get captured, will get arrested and get interrogated. Well, Naruto will pretty much bring back the scroll ceiling from and give it to Hiruzen, which Hiruzen would thank him and say if it's anything he needs something, he would do it. Which Naruto would pretty much say, can he get a better house? Yeah, he pretty much asks Hiruzen, can he get a better house on top of the cliff, off top of the hill? Which Hiruzen says yes, and pretty much Naruto gets a better house. Now, this house was given to him by his mom and dad. The house will pretty much was made by Minato and Kushina for them to live at with Naruto, but it's now given to Naruto. So yeah, pretty much. But the house is big and it has rooms and stuff. Has enough rooms for people to stay in and stuff, and such as children. But yeah, other than that, this is where Naruto will head to this new house and stuff and be laying in the bed. But this is where he will realize tomorrow he has to go and find out his team. So the next day comes and Naruto will pretty much head to this academy to find his team, and all the teams would be the same. Oh, well, not really. Hold on. The teams will be different this time. Oh, no, not really. Every team will be the same, including Team 7. Team 7 will have Naruto Uzumaki. Um, Naruto Uzumaki. Uh, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura. Sorry about that. I don't know why that took me forever, but yeah, that would be the same team. And if y'all want me to mix it up, I will. Just leave it down in the comments, and I will switch them out and stuff. But pretty much, this is where Team 7 will be formed. And As usual, Sakura will be trying to talk to Sasuke, but this is where she will have a thing for Naruto too, even though she knows he's the Nine Tails, but Naruto's hot, you could say. So she doesn't really care if he's a Nine Tails demon and shit. So this is where she was trying to talk to Sasuke, but she can't. And this is where she tried to talk to Naruto. And this is where Naruto will look at her and say, "Oh, it's you, big forehead." Which she would get mad at him for saying that. But this is where Naruto will make his little flirting move on her, and pretty much will say, "But did you know big foreheads means you're intelligent?" So, which pretty much she will like get blushing about it, and Naruto will, be flirting with her and stuff, and make his move, which Sasuke wouldn't really care because his whole sole purpose is revenge, so he wouldn't really give a shit. So pretty much, yeah. After all that, after Naruto's make his move on her and flirting and shit and all that stuff, and Sasuke pretty much is just focusing on his own and just like meditating. You could say this is where Kakashi comes in, and when he looks at the class, this is where he sees pretty much Naruto and Sakura making out, while pretty much Sasuke is just minding his own damn business. Which this is where Kakashi is. This is where Kakashi say, "Okay, this team." This is where he will pretty much say, which Naruto will stop making out with Sakura, and Sakura doesn't want to stop, but he pretty much puts Sakura aside and say, "Oh, you're Kakashi. What up?" Well, he would say, "Hey," which Kakashi would say, meet me at the rooftop." Which this is where he will body flicker away, and Naruto he will pretty much just teleport up there because I'm gonna give him the power of Raiden, you could say. So he would teleport up there, or no, I'm gonna say he has teleport abilities from God of War Zeus too. So some abilities gonna be from God of War, some abilities gonna be from Ragnarok. So pretty much Naruto would teleport up there, and Sasuke and Sakura is gonna have to walk up there. But pretty much this is where Naruto and Kakashi will have a one-on-one section by themselves for a couple minutes, and this is where Naruto will ask Kakashi the question, saying, "Was you on a previous Team Seven? And was you supposed to did my father Minato ask you to protect me and watch over me?" Which this is where Kakashi would be shocked to say how, which this is where Naruto would pretty much say, so I am right. So who else then I'm missing out? Do I have a godfather or some sort? Which this is where pretty much you could say this is where pretty much Kakashi will blurt out Jiraiya and holds his like cuts himself off, but Naruto already know and says, "So Jiraiya is my godfather. I gotta meet him someday. I heard he was one of the legendary Sani," which Kakashi is like saying, "How?" Which this is where they come up and pretty much they stop their conversation, and Naruto says, "I ask you more questions later." But pretty much this is where Kakashi does his thing, and it's the same as usual. And this is where Sakura will pretty much her thing would be different, as since she had made out with Naruto, so now she's more conflicted. So now she's saying that she likes to be a strong person, someone looking at Sasuke, but is and then she looks at Naruto, and Naruto pretty much gives her a wink, and she begins to start having a little bit of a, you could say, blushing moment, and almost passed out. But this is where Naruto, well, yeah, Sasuke's the same, but this is where Naruto's is different. Which Naruto's saying, "What? My dream? Not really a dream. I'm going to remake my children. I'm going to make. I'm going to become a strong god again and have my children. Well, no, I'm gonna pretty much be a strong god again, and I'm gonna have my children. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have my children, and I'm gonna do what I should have done." Which, if y'all don't know what happened, yeah, y'all know. But pretty much, yeah, he's basically saying he's gonna remake his children, his god children, his demigod children. So yeah, his goal is that, but also to become a god where everybody will know. So yeah, sorry about that. But pretty much, this is where what? Oh yeah, this is where Kakashi would say tomorrow's gonna be bell test. You'll eat or you might puke. Which this is where Naruto doesn't care, and he pretty much leaves just as right behind Kakashi and goes to Ichiban Ramen, eat some food. The next day, Naruto starts walking and he's eating something, and he's pretty much just taking his time there. This is where he will see Hinata pretty much going to her thing, which this is where Naruto will stop Hinata and say, "Hey, Hinata," which pretty much she would say, "Naruto," which this is where you know Naruto let's say hi to her, make a conversation with her, but he begins to start joking around with her, and she will be laughing and stuff. But this is where Naruto will make his move, flirting with her and stuff, and saying, it's been a while since I've seen you. How you doing? Ever since the day I protected you from those little narcs, or those bullies, you could say, which pretty much this is where he Naruto say, "You still remember?" Which uh Naruto say, "Of course. How can I ever forget?" Which this is where she will start blushing, and then she will like almost pass out. But Naruto will pretty much just tell her he sees her later, and he would teleport out of there. Now this is where Naruto would teleport, and Sasuke, Sakura would still be waiting there for Kakashi, which Naruto already know that Kakashi would take forever. And he'll pretty much have a meal already ready for both of them, and he'll pretty much tell them to eat up because he's not going to carry these. He's not going to carry them to victory, which they begins to eat. Well, he pretty much wouldn't say that, but he would pretty much say he doesn't want to like use all his energy. But you know what I mean. But pretty much they eat up, and Kakashi comes in, and he pretty much says, well, he pretty much will make his excuse, which Naruto will joke around and say, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine. If a black cat was in your way, you had to figure out a way to get out of there." Which Kakashi will say thank you and start laughing with Naruto. Now this is where they will do the bell test and stuff, and will Kakashi explain what to do and stuff. This is where Kakashi say, "On your mark, get set, go," and they begins to start, getting separated, except for Naruto. This is where Naruto will start creating clones. And this is not only clones. These will be the clones from God of War. The light, you could say like mimic, or you could say lightning clones. You could say like Zeus clones from God of War. If y'all ever played God of War 3 Master, I recommend y'all guys play it. But pretty much in the fight scene between Zeus will create multiple clones in the Titan. Pretty much in the Titan woman. She can he can pretty much create multiple clones to pretty much help him out in the fight. So yeah. So this is where Naruto will create multiple clones of himself. Like you could say, yeah, multiple clones of himself, and they will all start walking slowly. And Kakashi will be shocked that he can create so many clones without running out of chakra. But he's not using chakra; he's using his own godly power. So, and trust me, a god don't never get tired between mortals. So this is where he's pretty much walking, and then this is where he says, "Are you ready?" And this is where they start charging at him. Now, this is where pretty much one of them will use a lightning bolt, and one of them will copy, well, not really copy, but like use a lightning like line, and like pretty much will run straight in a straight line, which Kakashi would realize and be like, "What? That's how?" Which this is where he would jump over it. Which this is where the other, you could say the other Naruto, you could say, or a clone of Naruto, will pretty much punch Kakashi down to the ground with a lightning fist and shock him, which will pretty much injure him but also shock him. This is where also his other lightning clone will pretty much talk to Ari, Sasuke, and Sakura, and pretty much explains to them that this is about teamwork, and he's right now holding him off and distracting him, which Sasuke nods and agrees, and also Sakura, and they begins to well, Sakura, I forgot. Sakura also nods and agrees, but Naruto is pretty much making out with her, so yeah, you could say. While they talking about the plan. So yeah, you could say yeah. But pretty much this is where Naruto would pretty much have the plan already ready, and he'll pretty much have the clones like get destroyed by Kakashi, and all the clones are like dying out and stuff. This is where Kakashi will activate his Sharingan and be ready for Naruto to do something. But this is where Naruto says, "Did you forget about two other people?" Which Kakashi would be like, "Wait." And this is where Sakura pretty much grab Kakashi from the bottom, from the bottom, and pretty much hold him still. While this is where Sasuke will shoot three fireballs at Kakashi, which it will all be direct hits. As Kakashi gets sent flying back, this is where Kakashi will fall down and can barely stand. This is where Naruto will grab the two bells and throw one to Sasuke and throw one to cut the bell in half and throw one to Sasuke, and he has one in half, and then he will give the other bell to Sakura, saying that they passed and they used teamwork, which Kakashi would pretty much say they passed, and so far so forth. Now, this is pretty much part one of what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Zeus. If you like, give this up to 20 likes, and I'll do another part. The next part will be 18x because, like I said, this this series is going to be a lot of spicy stuffs, you could say. But yeah, get this up to 20 like, and I'll do another part. My name is Keyshawn Achia. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.